So as we're diving in, feel free to ask any questions in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask a question at any time. I know that we only have 30 minutes together, so if there is something that's been bugging you about your meta ads, raise your hand and ask. Or if something I'm talking about doesn't make sense, let's just talk it out. We're all friends here. So section 1 is how to spy on your competitors' meta ads and what to actually do with that information. So the ads that are live on Meta have been tested a lot. Some of you have competitors who have either been around a really long time, so they have quite a bit of capital. Maybe they've received outside funding from private equity, or they've done fundraising rounds. And so they've spent a lot of money to test what works and what doesn't work. Everything from the copy to the creative to the positioning. They've already spent the money testing it. So the ads that they have live, for the most part, have been proven to work and are giving results to those other brands. So what this means is don't do your own research, meaning see what your competitors are running. Then you can take information and learning, again, that they've already spent money doing, and apply those to your own ads. Really what happens when people start meta ads is they kind of do it in a vacuum. It's really easy. You just get so wrapped up in your own brand and your own product that you just laser focus on that, and you forget that the customer is in an evaluation phase. Yes, they want to buy your product or service. They don't necessarily know they want to buy it from you specifically. And they're getting ads from all these other brands as well. So you have to take into account the context that your ads will be seen in. And we'll talk through a case study here in a minute that explains this pretty clearly. The other thing is ignoring the insights that already exist, meaning, like I said, all these other brands have already spent a lot of money to run ads, see which ones have failed, and then put more money behind the ones that are working. So the tool that you'll want to use is called the Meta Ads Library. This is one of the only good things that has come from Mark Zuckerberg. I have to use this embarrassing picture of him because he makes my life difficult every day. So we're going to pay him back a little bit. But this was launched in 2019. The reason for it was to be more transparent about who is running what ads. This is your secret weapon as a marketer because you can go and see what ads your competitors are running. So let's just take a look here together. And it will show you live ads that are coming. You can select the location, your ad category, and then you can search for things like keywords. An interesting keyword to search for is, this may be in the news. Let's just look for, oops, if I could spell correctly, tariffs, prices. Who's running ads talking about tariffs and pricing? You can see here all these different brands and these different ads that are referring to tariffs and pricing. So if your business is affected by tariffs, you can see what other companies are saying about them. And let's say you're a natural or more sustainable clothing brand. You want to see what your competitors are running. You can type in, there's this clothing brand called Pact. They have quite a bit of money. They do quite a bit of advertising on Meta. You can see what are their active ads that are running right now. It will tell you when it started running, how long it's been running for, and what platforms it's running on. It will show you, here's the copy, here's the creative. It'll even show you the video. So you can see, what are your competitors talking about? What are they focusing on? Right now, it looks to be a lot focusing on dresses. This makes sense. The weather's warming up. People don't want to wear pants and sweaters. They're looking for dresses. So again, when you're doing your ads, if you're this organic clothing company, you want to see what kind of words and phrases are they using. Light, soft, organic cotton gauze. This is valuable information because they've tested these terms to get people's attention. So you know that these phrases, breathable fabrics, probably is something that they've tested quite a bit. You can also see their ad creative has quite a bit of video. again, something that you can take inspiration from if you have this clothing brand. So I highly recommend you go and play around with this. This really helps inform your ad strategy and your ad copy and creative. So like I said, look for format, look for the creative, look for any offers that they're doing, especially sales. Your customer is comparing you against other brands. So make sure you see what else they are getting offered by other people. I like to create what I call a swipe file. It's really just a document where any ads I really like, meaning that they're creative, they use interesting phrasing, I'll put them in there for inspiration, and or I tend to keep an eye on the top competitors and see what ads they run over and over and over. That will give you an idea of what's really working for them. Again, put it in a file just so you can reference it when it's time to launch your own campaigns and do your own campaign planning. Again, for next year around this time, if you sell dresses, this may be the time to start selling dresses since that's what people are looking for. The main headline here is don't spend your money relearning the things that these other brands have already paid to learn. I'll do a quick case study. We were working with a natural toothpaste company called Yin and Fang. Completely new to the market. They got their first shipment in from China and said, now we've got to sell it. Now what? So we did take a look at alternative toothpaste brands, did a lot of research on what meta ads they were running. We looked at about 13 different competitors. And what's interesting about the natural toothpaste vertical is that it's still pretty early. So people are in the early adopter phase. There is still opportunity for new brands to gain a foothold in the market and to become kind of the top leader or top contender. So that told us, yes, there is room on meta ads for us to compete. It's not dominated by one specific brand spending a ton of money. I think all 13 brands were spending at least some money on meta. The other thing it told us was that all of these alternative toothpaste brands were thinking in their box, thinking in their bubble, meaning you should choose our toothpaste over Colgate. You should choose our toothpaste over Crest. But that's not what the customer is looking for. The customer already knows I want to move away from Colgate and Crest, but I have 13 different natural toothpaste brands. How do I pick between them? So we looked at everybody's ads. It was all, fluoride free, no synthetic chemicals, non-toxic, all these things, but none of it was focused on why us over the other alternative toothpaste brands. So that left the door really wide open for people already in the consideration phase. I know I want to switch my toothpaste. I just don't know which brand to pick. So that's what we did for them. And we got quite a lot of return on ad spend for a pretty small spend because they were a new brand. They just couldn't start that strong out of the gate. So this is how competitor ads can really tell you what's going on. Yes, Annie.
Hi, sorry, I can't see the raise hand icon on my dashboard. What is that graph and how did you get the percentage numbers? Where is that info coming from?
So this is just general to consumer product adoption across any category. But we did research to find where natural toothpaste was in the customer life cycle. So this graph is not specific to natural toothpaste, it's to any consumer product in the market. There's going to be a small percentage of innovators and early adopters, and then you have majorities and laggards. So it's good to know where your brand falls because that will change your messaging as well. Early adopters and innovators, you have to position yourself against established entrants into the market because you're new and because they're taking a chance on a new product. Make sense?
Yeah, so that was just your in-house research that you were looking at all of those different brands and yeah.
Exactly correct. Yeah, if they said, it's a husband and wife team who started this company and they said, we don't have a lot of budget. We need to be smart about how we spend it. So we did a lot of research to see how can we have positioning in the market that's not just, hey, we're better than Colgate and Crest. That's not going to cut it. Everybody else was spending money on saying that exact same thing. How can we attract those early adopters who are already considering natural toothpaste but don't know which brand they want to buy? So takeaways here, let others spend the money testing what works. Make sure you steal their strategy, not the style. Nobody wants you to copy the ads exactly, but you will see common words and phrases, common creative that you can take inspiration from. And then always keep in mind your customer's context. It's really important to think what else they're looking at in addition to just your brand. Again, it's so easy to put the blinders on and just think only about your brand, but people have a whole world of other people trying to get their attention.